It's great to have you here, Carrie. Could you tell us a little bit about Thomas Herding Technique and what you're doing?
Yeah, thanks, Claudia. It's a pleasure to be here. And, you know, Thomas Herding Technique is a company I founded in 2008. And essentially, I specialize in emotional confirmation profiling, equine athletic psychology. So my specialty is to identify the ingredients that make up who the horse is and find ways to work with that in training programs and breeding programs. Okay, so first thing I want to be doing here, Max, is I'm going to try to make some contact with the horse so that V is in tune with me, knows I'm here. And you know what we're looking for here is get that engagement. And then the reason you want to do that, you want to get the engagement with the horse, and then you want to walk the horse back and then turn around. So you break the engagement, and then you have to come back into the field of view, and the horse has to re-evaluate you as the stimulus. So actually, it would be nice, Max, if you would, I'll back up a little bit closer this way. If you could just maybe turn V around, just about as far as you can, and then walk back towards me. Now I'm broken from the stimulus, the ears have let me go. Now as V comes around here, we're going to look for a pickup. And right about here is the eye pickup. And I'm going to come down. And so V, picking up with her eyes, but not with V's ears. So this will tell me in a profile that we have a horse here. We'll test this again next round through. But probably, as you can see here, eye dependent on interpretation of stimulus forward. Now that's okay. I just want to stand there, Max, and could you see that when you were coming towards me? That's what you're looking for. That particular part of the test is to look for focus points straight ahead of the horse from a turn position. So as they're coming back into the field of view, what tools do they use? Do they use their eyes and their ears to focus on you? And if they use them, at what point do they use them? Now, what I would have liked to have seen in this first test right here was B's ears lock on me as coming around with the ear towards me, and then as the eye came into view, forward focus, the ear should really let go, and the eye should transfer and take over the focus. So now that the ears are free to feel around the multiple stimulus and the associated stimulus. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to walk around B, and I'm going to try to identify the egg around the horse. If you think about an egg around the horse, you know, you have a hard-boiled egg, a soft-boiled egg, things like that. You have a hard shell, soft shell. And I'm looking for places where the boundary line of the comfort zone is, and if it's absorbing stimulus, and if so, what tools is B using to absorb? Is it the feel? Is it the ear? Is it eye dependent? Those kind of things. Or, you know, absorbing is able to kind of push into space, move into space with not a whole lot of influence. Now, a hard shell in one area means that you're meeting some attrition. You're having a little bit more difficulty in interpreting stimulus in that area. So then you're going to get a push-pull effect because it's going to be rigid. You're going to have, what's this? Or if they back up, they might kind of lean back this way. You'll have that invisible rope that moves the horse this way. So we're going to do a simple walking around test to do this basic emotional confirmation profile and see if we can't pinpoint areas of influence here. Let go of the eye. This horse is primarily eye dependent, I would think. Do you notice that when you're working her at all? Does she seem to have to look at things?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's going to transfer the motion. Now this right ear should be turned to me as opposed to the eye. B is focused on me with the eye, and not so much the ear. Now we've got a little bit of ear move, but still, even though she senses something there with the ear, still depends upon the eye to interpret that stimulus properly. So we have an eye-dependent horse on this side. As you see, we got to turn. Trying to get B to pick up her head a little bit now. Okay, right here. Coming in now with blind spot again. Even when I come to this side of B on the near side, still showing signs of I'm highly dependent on my eyes to let me know what is here. And not so much, she does pick up with her ears, but doesn't entirely trust those ears to interpret the stimulus completely, so it's going to be more eye dependent. And when you're working this horse, you'll probably notice that in order to achieve a task, she's going to be eye dependent. And maybe I'm wrong, I've never ridden the horse, but is that something that you see?
Yes.
Does that sound right?
She has to look at everything, every little
And that's one of those things you're dealing with in your training. And the fact of the matter is, what we're doing here is we're not testing her. You know, we are interviewing her, and I'm simply asking her, you know, B, how are you interpreting your world? Because in order for me to help you and coach you forward, I need to understand the way in which you see things and how you interpret them. It's very, very important. And this is the first step into developing, in my personal opinion, into developing a program around your horse's strengths and your horse's weaknesses, and defining and beginning to define the future for this horse and how you should handle the future progress.